The Jake Asman Show will begin shortly. Thanks to all these great Patreon members who help support the show. Get your super chats ready. Jake will be here in just a moment. If you love the New York Jets, this is the place to be. And now, the Jake Asman Show.
Are these realistic goals for what the Jets could actually do in 2025? We will hear from a respected Jets analyst on that. Plus, Knicks, Pacers, Eastern Conference Finals. It starts tonight. We'll break it all down. It's the Jake Asman Show. Let's hit it and get it started. Man, our Jets are primed to win another offseason, baby. We bleed Jets green each and every day. Will the playoff drought finally end? Kings of the offseason, baby. This is what we do. At least we have Garrett Wilson. We have Breece Hall. Please subscribe and hit the like button below. Super chat, baby. Cut the line. We have Sauce Gardner. We have Quinn Williams. Prepare to be underdogs. Now it's time to talk all things New York Jets. It's the Jake Asman Show. Here we go, here on a Wednesday. Happy Knicks game day to all the Knicks fans out there. The Jets are on the practice field today. It is the first official OTA practice that the media is allowed to watch. It means Aaron Glenn will get a chance to coach rookies and veterans in front of the media. We'll be live this afternoon recapping the top takeaways. Robbie Sabo, who is there, will be coming on the show to provide an eyewitness report on what he saw. Plus, Aaron Glenn's going to speak today around 2 p.m. Eastern time, so we will hear from the Jet head coach as well. Right now, though, we are going to hear from someone that's been on our show before. He's the host of the Badlands podcast. This was Joe Caporoso over the weekend talking about what he thinks are realistic goals for the Jets. I'll play you this, and then I'll break it down and weigh in whether or not I think the Jets could actually do this with Aaron Glenn in year one.
I want a team that fights. I want to see a team that does not have those lay-down games. The Arizona game, the Miami game from a couple of years ago, especially in this division, man. Like, you don't lose. You're not losing 40-0 to Buffalo in the third quarter. You're not losing 31-0 to Miami in their building. Even if these teams are better than you, show up prepared. And if the Jets are a team that, just from a talent perspective or a quarterback perspective, they just can't get it done in certain weeks, but they're scrapping, that's more tolerable than a team that is just getting wiped and looks like they're quitting at times, which is what the Jets looked like last year. And what I hated to see last year, I want to see the Jets get away from the pointing culture. Every time someone gets beat, someone's pointing at someone else. Every time someone makes a mistake, they're pointing at someone else. You want to see things like that go away. You want to see the team not be stupid. Less illegal shift penalties, less guys lining up on the line of scrimmage, covering the tackle, less delay of games. Clean up that stuff and get better as the year goes on and show some signs here. And I think most rational people, if this team wins 7 or 8 games, is going to be like, all right, like that was better than last year and we're headed in the right direction. So clean up the stuff where you were watching the Jets last year and you're like, Jesus Christ, this is an AAU team that looks like they've never practiced together. And it looks like they're all not playing for the team. They're just playing for each other. And that there's some of that always throughout any season with any NFL team, but it should not be as blatantly obvious as it was last year.
So I think that's fair. The thing is, if they do a lot of that, wouldn't they be better than around a 7-win team, right? If you just look at the talent on the team, because everything Joe is describing there is a team that's pretty well coached. Because what people, I think, fail to realize last year, while there certainly were some ugly, ugly losses, the Arizona game, the Bills game, right? The Jets also led the NFL in blown fourth quarter leads. So it's not like every week last year they were getting blown out. They were in most of their games, right? That's not crazy to bring up. So a lot of what I think led to losses last year was they were the worst coached team in the NFL. Honestly, I think if you gave Adam Gase the same roster that Jeff Ulbrich inherited, he would have won more games than Ulbrich did. Which is not to prop up Gase. It's more to speak volumes on just how bad I thought Ulbrich was as the interim head coach. And it's not like Robert Saleh was a great head coach, but he was leaps and bounds better than the Jeff Ulbrich experience. So With that said, if they do a lot of what Joe Caporoso is talking about there, wouldn't they be better than a 7-10 football team? That'd be my thing. Like, I think if they do all that with the talent they currently have and the schedule being what it is, I think this team is probably closer to 8 or 9 wins. Right? I think their ceiling is higher because you're talking about a team that would have a really good offensive line, a team that would have a defense that is clearly rebounded, right? You know, Joe brought up the penalties. The Jets last year led the NFL in defensive penalties. Horrendous. So that needs to be cleaned up. They need to win the turnover battle. They need to not beat themselves. If they do a lot of that, they should be a lot better. But then it's really going to come down to what version of Justin Fields are we getting? Are we getting a guy who's actually improved, or we're going to get a guy who is what he's been? Very inconsistent. But we do know that Fields is capable of making plays with his legs, and that will help you win a game or two for sure this year, if not more. But I am expecting a Jets team to come out, and I think the term that Joe used is fight. I think that's a great term. But this team has to clean up the issues last year that I think you could directly attribute to coaching. They do that, they should be better than 5-12, but if that's all they do and they don't get the quarterback play, they're still probably a 6 or 7 win team. Because it's still a quarterback-driven league. Unless you think Aaron Glenn's going to come in and be Mike Tomlin right away, then it doesn't really seem to matter who your quarterback is. You're guaranteed 9-8 at the minimum. And maybe Glenn's awesome, but there's just a lot of unknown. You know, the slogan of the 2025 Jets on this show has been, we'll see. Because if you wanted to, you could come on the show and you could argue this team's going to be a 10-win team. You could do it. If you wanted to, you can come on and argue this team's going to win 5 games or less. It's why I lean with they're probably somewhere in the middle there, which is why I'm at 6 wins right now. But I would love to see this team do everything that Joe's saying there. And look, for Justin Fields, this is an opportunity that he's probably never going to get again if it doesn't work out. This is his last shot at being, you know, the unquestioned starter for a team. If he doesn't take advantage of it, or he can't stay healthy, that's it. And I think he knows that. And I think you get a guy who's that motivated, that's a good thing, not a bad thing. But so much of this comes down to the coaching staff. So much of this comes down to what Tanner Engstrand specifically is. Because he's going to get so much credit if Fields is really good. That's just how it works. And it will be deserved. And this team has to be able to run the football to have any chance. This team has to be ground and pound. This team has to be utilizing what Fields does at an elite level. This team has to be able to do what we've seen some of the better teams in the league be able to do, which is take advantage of the talent on their roster. Scheme guys open. You know, if they're stacking the box, great. Time to call a well-timed screen for Breece Hall. Oh, they're stacking the box. Here comes the play action. We got Garrett Wilson on a deep post, and Fields has got to make that throw and hit him. That's the type of stuff that you're going to need to be good. But I think a lot of what Joe's saying there is reasonable. But if they accomplish that, I don't think this is a 7-win team. I think they're better than that. In the NFL, a lot of times you don't have to win the game. You just don't have to lose the game, right? And the Jets last year lost so many games. Whether it be penalties, whether it be the kicker, whether it be poor situational awareness, not using timeouts properly. Like everything that could go wrong last year went wrong. And the biggest thing I want to highlight that I want to see from this team, I want to see a team that doesn't wait till the second half to start playing football. How many times the last several years are the Jets flat as a pancake to start games? I want to see a team that comes out and actually starts fast, actually plays with a lead early in games. You know, comes out with a mentality of not just waiting till the third quarter starts to flip the switch. And defensively, I want to see a defense that forces way more turnovers. Way more aggressive. That mentality that I feel has been lacking. Blitz more. I want to see Quincy Williams and Jamie and Sherwood, two of the faster players at their position in the league. I want to see these guys blitz. I want to see this team be opportunistic, turn the ball over. I want to see Sauce Gardner have more interceptions this year. And I think he will with Aaron Glenn coaching him up. But that's the stuff I want to see. That's the tangible stuff that I can look at and go, even if the wins aren't necessarily what we want, at least we feel like there's some coaching being done. There's a mentality shift that's happening. Like that's what you, I think, want to see if you're a fan of this team. But the way to win games is take care of the ball and run the football. And we've seen that it can work. Like the last time the Jets were good, they weren't winning because Mark Sanchez was throwing for 300 yards every game. And this roster is not the 09 roster, not even close. But there is talent on this team. This team is not bereft of talent. This is not, people will continue to compare the Jets to the Lions that first year. That team won 3 games. If the Jets win 3 games this year, they should clean house. Because there's too much talent to be that bad. And I'm not sitting here telling you I think they're good, but 3 wins, picking number 1 in the draft, right? The Lions were picking number 2 that first year after Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes got there with Aaron Glenn as the defensive coordinator. That's unacceptable. This team should not be picking in the top 3 in the NFL draft. So my expectations are, hey, this is a 10-win team. They're making the playoffs, but this team hasn't won more than 8 games in a decade. The most amount of games they've won since 2015 is 7. Daniel Jones, with a rookie head coach, went 9-7-1 and won a playoff game a couple of years ago. And most Giant fans don't even think Brian Dable is that good of a coach now. So, this idea that, well, it's going to take some time, and if they win 3 or 4 games, it's like, nah, man, let's win games. Let's go out there and have an 8-win season. Not that we're going to celebrate that, but at least there's tangible progress. 8-9 is better than anything we've seen in 10 years. And I also want to get out in front of this because when we talk about a record prediction, oftentimes we just throw out there a number, but it doesn't tell the whole story. There are different ways to get to your record. Like if you say to me right now, hey, Jake, would you sign for 8-9? Obviously, I'd be forced to say yes, right? Hey, Jake, would you sign for 9-8 and make the playoffs? And just miss the playoffs, right? Obviously, I'd say yes. But a couple of years ago, I predicted the Jets to go 7-10. And I was right. They finished 7-10. Do we look back on that 2022 season where the Jets were 6-3 and 7-4 and go, well, they met our expectations? No. Expectations change based on new information. And if this team gets off to a good start and then they collapse at the end of the year when good teams get better as the year goes on, not the opposite, like what happened in 2022, that's not good enough. 7-10 or 8-9 is not good enough if they get off to a 5-2 start and then choke and then fall apart. So I need this team to show improvement throughout the year. I need the arrow to be trending up, not down. Right? In 2022, I was guilty of this. It was too easy just to blame it all on Zach Wilson being terrible. And that certainly was part of it, right? Mike White getting hurt certainly was part of it. But I think ultimately, like, I want to not just throw out like a win total. I want to see how we got to that total because I think there's nuance to that conversation. It's not just black or white. Hey, would you take 8 wins right now? Like, if I'm forced to make a decision, yeah, I'll take it. But that doesn't mean it's the good kind of 8 wins. Like Adam Gase's first year with the Jets, he went 7-9. I remember there were some people who didn't watch the Jets every week. Because remember, I was in Houston. I was doing a national radio show at the time for SB Nation Radio. They're like, man, you're so hard on Gase, but they won 7 games. Like you talk about Adam Gase, like they were a 2-win team. I go, you got to watch the games, man. This team was this team was horribly coached. They were 1-7. They beat a bunch of teams with backup quarterbacks down the stretch. The record is not as good. In 7-9 is not good, but 7-9 is not, what it actually was. And then the next year, the Jets won 2 games. So, like, there's so much more to the evaluation of a coaching staff, the evaluation of a roster, the evaluation of a team based on how you get to a certain record. Because that 2019 team wasn't any good. They were 1-7. They sucked. So everyone throws out a record. We play the win-loss, win game with the schedule, and it's fun. How you get to the record is more important than anything else, right? Because I'll tell you what, I'm a Knicks fan. And the Knicks are going to play in the Eastern Conference Finals tonight, which is hard to believe. I cannot wait to be in the building later. I have waited legitimately my entire life to go to a conference finals game. But I'm going to be disappointed that the Knicks don't win this series. Now, if you said to any Knicks fan before the start of the year, hey, you're going to get to the Eastern Conference Finals, is that a successful season? Every Knicks fan would have said absolutely. And maybe if the Knicks end up losing this series, I'll look back on it and I'll go, it was a great year, and it certainly has led to some memorable moments I'll never forget. But the Knicks are the favorites now, right? You're at home. You got home court advantage. This team beat you last year, and I believe Indiana only won that series because the Knicks ran out of healthy bodies. I think the Knicks win in 5 if just OG Anunoby was healthy after game 2. I wouldn't be happy if the Knicks don't win this series now. I'll appreciate this Knicks team later on, but now you got to win, right? Your expectations change based on new information. Your expectations change based on what your eyes are telling you. My eyes are telling me Knicks are a better team. Let's get to the NBA Finals. If they play the Thunder, they play the Timberwolves, I'll worry about them then. But the goals should now be, hey, we're not settling and we're just happy to be here. Job's not done. Like that's how things change over time. But if you told any Knicks fan before the year started, hey, you're going to be in the conference finals, of course you signed for that. But you would have thought you'd be in the conference finals against Boston. Guess what? You beat Boston. You slayed the Dragon. You beat the champs. Now the goal is to get to the NBA Finals. And look, even talking about the Jets being in the conference finals is crazy. We know that won't happen. But they get off to a good start this year. That's what we're talking about, right? How it all kind of comes together, how the expectations change based on what you're seeing. Now, as far as the Knicks, look, in their history, the game 1 winner for a Knicks series, when they open at home, has won that series every time. Meaning, this game tonight is massive if you look at history. History tells you the Knicks need to win tonight to ultimately win this series. Once again, the Knicks have never won a playoff series where they lost the first game at home. So there's a big one tonight. Indiana has had a lot of time off because they disposed of the Cavs, the Paper Tiger Cavs, for the 3rd year in a row, oh, by the way, in just, 5 games? So the Knicks tonight need to come out with an edge. The Knicks are healthy, something they were not for any game last year against this Pacers team. And I respect Indiana. They are a team that obviously has a ton of depth. They're a team that is tough. But I think the Knicks are better. And I think the biggest key for the Knicks is Mikal Bridges. Because when he goes, this team wins. Look at the games the Knicks have won in the playoffs, and then look at how Bridges has performed. I know Jalen Brunson's going to bring it. He's special. Game to game, though, when they have won, Mikal Bridges has been excellent. And that goes for OG Anunoby as well. And if you look back on these two teams in the regular season, Karl Anthony Towns averaged about 30 points. I don't think Indiana has a big that could handle Towns if Towns is aggressive and Towns comes out and plays like he did in Game 6 against Boston last Friday. I believe Karl Anthony Towns and Mikal Bridges are the two biggest keys for the Knicks advancing past Indiana. Because I don't think there's a matchup for Towns that Indiana feels comfortable with. And Mikal Bridges, he's capable of being the second leading scorer on this team on any given night. He's capable of going out there and winning you games in the fourth quarter and the moment not being too big for him. He's done it all playoffs, going back to the Pistons series. He did it in Boston in games 1 and game 2. He was awesome in that game 4, where the Knicks really made a statement that they can beat Boston when they went up 3-1. So those are the two players I'm looking at. OG Anunoby played really well in those first 2 games against Indiana a year ago, and then hurt his hamstring, and we never saw him again until 2 minutes of Game 7 when the Knicks realized he couldn't move, and then that was it. He's going to be important. And look, we know Indiana is obviously going to play their depth. That is their strength. But the Knicks right now, I think you feel like you have 7 guys you trust. We know how valuable and how important Mitchell Robinson has been. But also, Deuce McBride is not getting talked enough about. He has played well. He's gotten better as these playoffs have gone on. We know what he does on both ends of the floor. That chase down block that he had was one of the loudest moments of any sporting event I've ever been at. That, to me, is the key. Right? Robinson and Deuce. Because Indiana's got more depth. But the bottom line of it, in any conversation, when you compare these two teams, the Knicks have more talent. So if the Knicks can get some contributions from a Deuce McBride off the bench, and Mitchell Robinson continues to be a guy that's going to give you, an extra 7 to 8 extra possessions with his ability to dominate the glass, impact things defensively, I think the Knicks have enough. I know Josh Hart is going to give you maximum effort all the time. Game to game, you never know if his shooting's going to be there. Some nights it will be, some nights it won't, but he's going to help you win games. I know Jalen Brunson is Jalen Brunson. Enough said. All right, best thing to happen to any Knick fan age 35 or under. I feel good about Tom Thibodeau going up against Rick Carlisle. Indiana's a really good team. They are well coached, but the Knicks have the home court advantage, and they're healthy. And look, things change in the playoff series, right? Jason Tatum got hurt. And you're always concerned about Mitch and OG and the way Brunson plays where he takes a beating. But I can't worry about injuries right now. I'm basing my evaluation on these two teams based on how they are right now. And I think the Knicks are better. I do think it's going to be a long series, but I like the Knicks in 6. And that's my feel as we look at these two teams. Comments, questions, super chats. We'll cut the line. Jets OTAs, we led the show with. Knicks, Eastern Conference Finals. A little preview for all of you on the show. If you want to weigh in on either of those topics, call in on the Gusbuster Umbrella Hotline. Ladies and gentlemen, we start off with a $50 super chat from Cincy Matt. Cincy Matt dropping a 50 spot for the people. Let's go, Cincy Matt.
Get your ass off my super chats. Some of these are gifted memberships too.
Hey.
The hell with it.
This is 10 raffle entries for Cincy Matt. And quick reminder before we read his comment, this week on the show, we're giving away a signed Walt Clyde Frazier jersey and a signed Broadway Joe Namath jersey. Those are the top 2 prizes in this week's raffle. Cincy Matt writes in, come Friday, we welcome Cincy Zach to the family. We will miss some shows, but wanted to drop some love. He may grow up a Bengals fan, but I'll have to get him an Asmaniac onesie for sure. Cincy Matt, please shoot me an email with your address, and I'd love to send you an Asmaniac onesie on me. That's awesome. Congrats to you and your family. That's awesome. Appreciate your support as always, man. We love having you part of the community. Andrew with a super chat. I'd give anything if the Jets record was as good as the practice highlights were. Feel like I'm watching something I shouldn't. Look, I'm all for the Jets putting out clips on social that are fun, like Fields throwing a bomb to Xavier Gibson yesterday, or the video of Justin Fields running out there on the field. But it doesn't mean anything, right? Don't judge your evaluation on this team on anything you see, and that includes the One Jets Drive stuff. Look, it's fun, but it's produced by the Jets. The goal of that stuff is to excite the fans, sell season tickets, all that. Right? There's nothing going to be negative in there. It's all about promoting the product. And there's nothing wrong with that, but it's not, that's not like journalism. It's like state propaganda. They're going to hype up the team. That's what it's supposed to be. But if it makes you feel good, that's the point. Ladies and gentlemen, the Rick Kent is the first today to drop 10 channel memberships for the people. Rick is in our raffle, and Rick's lucky enough to have watched Broadway Joe and Walt Clyde Frazier win championships in this town. Rick, you're in for 10. Thank you for the support. This is for you.
Show me the money. Show me the money! Money.
Hear your name called. You are a channel member thanks to Rick's generosity. Michael Naro, Illogical Bomb, Jared Mount, David Perry, Atanis Helen, John Eric, Elvis Rivera, Derek Gallo, Randy Martinez. Congrats to all on their channel membership. Julian. Hey, Julian, I sent you an email. You won the Curtis Martin jersey. Shoot me back the confirmation of your address, and I'll get that sent out to you. But I'm glad you sent it a super chat. You're in the next raffle for 5. But if you saw the show Monday morning, you won the raffle prize. That was the Curtis Martin signed jersey. Have fun tonight. Feels like all New York sports going good. Let's hope the Jets show up too. Would be nice. Would absolutely be nice. You know, the Yankees are playing well right now. I know the Mets are in a bit of a rut, but they're still, still right there. A game out of first place. Even with the Soto, quote-unquote, controversy right now. But, yeah, I mean, New York sports, I feel like, is in a decent spot. Right? I mean, the Knicks are carrying all of us, but, this has been an unprecedented run if you're a Knicks fan. I mean, quite literally, this is something that has not happened in a quarter century. Felix Campos in the house. What's up, Felix? Always good to hear from you. He became a channel member himself, and then he just dropped a TED spot of channel memberships. Hey, now.
Now, give me money. Or I shoot him. And I shoot all you motherfuckers. And then we take it. Your choice, bitches.
Always good to hear from Felix, longtime supporter of the show. These are the 10 members that Felix just gifted a channel membership to. Taj 4K, call it out. Nate A. Alan has herpes. Brian Hilario. Keith C. Cap. James Thurlow. Willis Cunningham. JC Winkler. Utah for life. Congrats to our members, and thank you to Felix. He's in the raffle for 10 with that. Plus, he gifted himself an entry in the raffle as well. We are working on a new channel membership. I need the size updated for the Chef Kevin emoji, and then that will be added to the arsenal. So, Addison, if you could get me the size update whenever you get a moment, we will add the Chef Kevin emoji for all channel members. Anthony writes in, I've been a Knicks fan for over 50 years, Jake. This is absolutely one of the most exciting times to be a Knicks fan. You just enjoy it more because it's been so long. There was truly a time in my life where I'm like, the Knicks are never going to be good. Like, ever. Like, it is not going to happen. When I think back to some of my lowest points rooting for this team, and I'll never forget how disgusted I was when they didn't get Durant, they didn't get Kyrie Irving, how disgusted I was when they traded Porzingis, how disgusted I was when the Charles Oakley thing happened. There was so much. So much. How disgusted I was when they didn't get LeBron. How the Stephon Marbury era ended. Just horrible. And here we are. Dakota says, Pacers might take game 1 tonight at MSG. After that, that's it for them. See, it's actually the opposite if you go by history. History tells you the Knicks need to win tonight. Because in their history, they have never won a playoff series where they've lost the first game at home. Now, maybe you could argue, hey, they're due to change things. They're due to reverse that history. I would like to not tempt fate. I'd like to just win tonight and do exactly what Minnesota did last night. Andrew with a super chat. Wait, Allen is a Bills fan. I'm confused. Allen is a fraud fan of every team he claims to root for. He claims he's a Jet fan. He's not. All he does is hype up the Bills. All he does is hype up other teams around the league. Has nothing ever positive to say about the Jets, ever. Even when they do things he wants, like get rid of Rodgers, hire Aaron Glenn. Nothing. Never gives him credit for anything. He's a fraud. He lives to just troll people in this chat. And some of you seem to like it, which I don't get. Most of you don't. But I'm a free speech advocate, so I'll never ban Allen for life. But I will put him in timeout from time to time because it's funny. Felix in the house with a $10 super chat. Thank you, Felix. Sorry, Jake, been gone for a while. Just got relocated to Jersey for work, so I'll be seeing you soon at a Jets, Yankee, or Knicks game or one of your meetups. Oh, Felix, that's awesome, man. I didn't realize you're back in the tri-state. We're doing a Yankee meetup on June 29th. We still do have a couple tickets left. I could put one aside for you and someone if you want to join us. But I don't know if you're a Patreon user or not, but all the info's there. It's also linked in the description. So if you want to join us, we're in section 223 against the A's on Sunday, June 29th. And if you can make it, I'd love to meet you in person, man. That's awesome. Welcome back to the Tri-State. All right, let's get to your calls now. Gus Buster Umbrella Hotline's open. Tristan leads us off today. Tristan, what do you got for us?
What's up, Jake?
What's up, Tristan?
I know I usually just make one point and then tell you to kick me off, but I got a few things.
Let it rip.
I don't know if you've heard about the new rules about gingers, and I don't want you to get canceled because you still work for ESPN, but welcome to the coalition, my brother.
You know, it's funny. My friends were telling me about that. So I heard all about this. It's an honor.
I'll send you some videos. I got you.
It's funny enough, I've made that joke for years. I'm like, redheads, we've been discriminated against forever. No one ever defends us. And now
I got rid of my
support,
beard.
I mean,
that's the proof.
You're the
man. 2, I'm down 60 pounds from my heaviest. So I'm just working on my stuff. 3, outside of second string defensive tackle, I think we're built to control the clock, and that's what's going to get us to 10 games. I need 10 games this year. I cannot have less than 10 games. I have close friends in every team in the AFC North. I could probably go to every game and have a good time with some of my friends. I need bragging rights. I don't want, I mean, delusional fandom. I want 11 to 12, but it may not happen. 4th.
I'd say 10, man. 10 would be delusion for a lot of people, man. They're over 5.5.
No, I need it. I need it now. Finally, I know the Heat and the Knicks don't really like each other too much. I don't know if I've ever told you, born in New York, raised in Miami, business in Atlanta for the past few years until I moved to Utah just now. But I know the Knicks and the Heat don't really have the best history during the expansion years, but I hate the Indiana Pacers because of the early 2010s way more than I have any disgrace. So I will probably rep for you guys tonight. And
how about that?
As somebody whose team has made the Eastern Conference Finals, like I think 7 or 8 of the last 15 years, it's a joyous experience. That's the only team that's kept me afloat. You know what I'm saying? The Hurricanes sucked. The Marlins sucked. The Braves, you know, I'm the fan because I was living there, but that was a flip-flop for me just because I was living there and it was cool. But, you know, it's a good time. Enjoy the process. Hopefully you guys make it to the finals, and I'm repping for you, baby.
Tristan, great call, man. Always good to hear from you. Congrats on the weight loss, too. That's awesome. Yeah, the way I would describe it, if you're maybe not a Knicks fan, but you're a Jet fan watching the show, I think rooting for the Knicks is good karma. Because the Knicks are the closest thing you could get to where the Jets are. As far as the label of being the worst franchise in sports, that was the Knicks for a long time. The sell the team chance with Dolan. What does every Jet fan talk about right now with Woody? Sell the team. We're never going to win with them. All these were said about James Dolan. So if the Knicks could get out of the gutter, it could be done with the Jets, who were good more recently than the Knicks were until this run the last few years. Like the Jets under Woody Johnson were in a conference finals. They were in the AFC Championship game twice. They made the playoffs far more than the Knicks did. You realize the Knicks went 8 years without making the playoffs? In an NBA where half the league makes the playoffs? The Knicks, after that 54-win season with Carmelo, where they lost to the Pacers. And everyone's talking about last year. And look, I want revenge for last year because I think the Knicks were better if they were just a little healthier. Obviously, they were never going to have Randall for that entire series because he was done after January last year. But if they just had OG, I think they win. But I want revenge for the 2013 team, man, because that Knicks team was really, really good. That was the best team I've seen as a Knicks fan until this year's team. That team should have went to the conference finals. Probably would have lost to LeBron and that Heat team, but it would have made it interesting. They were 3-1 against them in the regular season that year. Now, we know that doesn't necessarily mean anything. So the Knicks were dominated by Boston in the regular season, and look what happened. But that Game 6 loss in Indiana, that still bothers me, man. I was a senior in high school. Kills me. The Knicks tape team. I want JR. I want Shump. I want Melo. I want them all. Tyson Chandler, J. Kidd. I want them all at the Garden for the series. Mr. Beasley's attorney checks in. Wow, Bobby Beasley has officially hired an attorney, it looks like. I've noticed Mr. Jason has not commented since I chimed in. I hope he's on the phone with his attorney. Well, I can relay some information here. Beast has been nonstop calling Aldens to try and get a hold of his attorney, Mr. Bonesy. However, I'm told to relay the information to Beast that Bonesy will return Beast's call, but he's currently at court today because he's working on the Sean Combs trial right now. So Bonesy's working on 2 cases at once. I was told to relay that information. John LG has gifted a membership. And this is a long time coming because John was like messaging with like the YouTube like tech line because his memberships weren't going through. So I appreciate you, John. You're on the raffle for 1. John's membership was gifted to Sean Evans. Congratulations to Sean. Ladies and gentlemen, Anthony has gifted 10 channel memberships. Anthony won the signed Aaron Glenn throwback jersey, which might be arriving today, Anthony, or certainly tomorrow. You're in the next raffle for 10. Thank you for your generosity, as always. Bang! Bang! Yeah. Hey, go New York, go New York, go! Go New York, go New York, go! If you hear your name called, you're a channel member. Brewing, Timothy Moore, Robert Foley. Oh, my God, Alan has gonorrhea now. Josh Frischman, Joshua Mink, Sea-Dog 1969, Marty McFly, Smiley GOE, Matt Lifamina, and Castaway Jet, all receiving channel memberships. Thank you to Anthony. Rick Kent says, time to go. Have a great day. Rick, you have a tremendous day. To your calls we go. Ladies and gentlemen, for the first time since it has been learned that Bobby Beasley has hired a true attorney, we head to the lair.
Right now, we're getting some gabagool. If you really want some gabagool, you got to come get the gabagool. Catch you later.
Cereal. Just for the day.
What happened to the diet you were on, Beast?
After last night, I went to the doctor's this morning. 194 blood pressure through the roof. And Mr. Bonesy will be taking care of all my stuff. He'll be taking care of it for me.
Did you speak with Bonesy yet? He's busy working on the Diddy trial.
I already taken care of it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Taken care of it. I already said my piece. And I'm not going to talk about this other crap today. Nope. I just want to say game 1 is Nick tonight, and all I'm going to be doing is watching, and I'm not going to be listening to this. I'm ignoring this because this is
Mr. Beasley's attorney writes in. There he is, Mr. Asman. Please have Mr. Jason tell his attorney to call me back. Is Bonesy going to call back Mr. Beasley's attorney?
You know what this is?
Also, do you believe in any lights, Beast? It's tough to see you. You look like you're in a cave.
I'm not in the best of moods today. I don't feel like I want to be yelling and screaming after yesterday's blood pressure. I won't be here Monday. I will be with my family enjoying the festivities of Memorial Day to support our soldiers. And I already watered my garden. My garden's already got good 3 to 4 inches of water. It's already been taken care of. But everything's in the bag. I'm just going to keep ignoring. I'm going to move on from all this crapola, and I'll be ignoring all this. Don't worry, Mr. Gator. I already got lights. Thank you very much.
Mr. Beasley's attorney writes in, Mr. Jason's a fraud. He claimed to be a global master of destruction. These are titles gifted to my clients, given through hard work and dedication.
Did I already address it? Did I already say it already? Who cares?
Frank P says you can't run again. What are you afraid of?
Frank P, why don't you go jump off a cliff and head first into the toilet?
Zoink Nation says, what did your doctor say you weighed, Beast?
My doctor already checked me. I'm already up to 260. Thanks to him. Blood pressure's at 194. And just this morning, too, after my appointment, what was I coughing up this morning? Blood!
Wing Wong writes in, Beast is the biggest fraud, and Bobby Beasley and the 4 horsemen own him.
I'm not going to listen to this child behavior. This is worse. This is worse than dealing with kindergartners. Very poor.
Mr. Bonesy writes in, I called Mr. Beasley's lawyer incognito, and they answered, welcome to the Dollar Tree. How can I help you?
Now we got some entertainment. Now that is more appropriate entertainment than kindergarten class. There's two differences, Jake.
Shouldn't you be in the hospital if you're coughing up blood? That doesn't sound good.
I'll be all right.
Okay.
Let me just say,
I've
been hit by a bus before when I was 16. I survived that. Ear infection to 21, survived that. 2015 to 31, I survived. I survived all the odds. But this one, this is more dangerous than you can expect.
How does the ear infection compare to being hit by a bus? Same level of pain?
Oh, I'll tell you how it feels. It's scary enough to put someone on a commission. I know what it feels like. See, people my age these days, some of them are dying because of high stress, high blood pressure, tempers, the COVID nonsense, all the other full crap that you read in the newspapers. I'm just trying to make points loud and clear. I'm going to ignore the child behavior of this magnitude of nonsense. I'm just going to ignore it, move forward, and tomorrow when I go to the suburbs, I'm just going to enjoy a good time, not think of the past. The past is yesterday's news. This is today, this is tomorrow, this is the future. We're going to grow up, move on, grow old, and die. That's what I want.
Hey, Zoink Nation says you're the sexiest 260 he's ever seen.
Seriously, bro? You better not be coming on to me because if you do, you know what's coming next. You know I don't want to do this, but unfortunately, as someone once said, don't make me do something that your father should have did to you years ago. So if I were you, better back off. I'm not gay. I'm super straight, super tough, and I ain't gonna play your pity. So don't try me, son, or you know what's gonna happen. You're gonna get your ass whipped like your father should have gave you years ago.
Hey, Beast, you're being accused by the Beasley side of things of stolen valor.
Childlike behavior. Child behavior. Very, very childish like. This is more kindergarten, first grade crap. I ain't listening to this. Poor child behavior. Very, very poor.
Mike D's Nuts says 5'8", 260 is wild. He's calling you an Oompa Loompa. Would you like to respond?
Hey, Mike. I like to see you try when you were in high school with me. If you were in the same high school as I was back in Curie, I would have schooled you like Allen Iverson all night long. I would have took you to school, and I would have took you out of town and Ric Flair on you with a little woo. Now take it to the bank, Jack. And you know what I mean. And you know what I mean by take it to the bank. That's right.
How much money we got there?
Take it to the bank. Good $70. And I'm gonna hang on to this because I'm gonna see. This is my money I work for. My hard work money that I pay.
Mr. Beasley's attorney writes in, his threats are very aggressive. If anyone feels threatened, contact Goldschmidt and Goldstein Law Firm in Cheesehead, Wisconsin.
Again, childlike behavior. And this picture right here, this looks like a picture of Dos Equis. I've had Dos Equis in college before. Been there, done that. Again, I'm not going to listen to child behavior.
Bobby Beasley hired the most interesting guy in the world?
Yeah, right.
Wow.
You know what I say that? That's child behavior. Very, very child behavior. This is like dealing with children. See, children nowadays, they're still sure. Back in my day when I was growing up, if we did something wrong, we got our ass kicked. Nowadays, kids don't get their ass kicked. Mr. Bill M, I see my feet every day. Let me just say this. When I'm in the shower, I know when it's time to wash up. Do I wear a pair of Adidas's? Of course I do. And do I support good stuff? Of course I do. Who do you think built 3 battle jackets and spent $660? I like to see you with a set of balls do something about it, Jack. Until then, take your monkey crybaby ass and go back to the kindergarten line and go wait for a sucker. Loser, wannabe.
What do you mean by when you're in the shower, you know when it's time to wash?
Hey, when I check myself, I at least check myself in the mirror. And when I smell myself, I at least know when it's time to hit the showers.
It's well said, Beast.
Number one, I wasn't raised on no potato chip truck. I was born a man. And to the crybabies on here who want to be like this, you know what? Child behavior ain't going to get you anywhere. Child behavior is just going to land you maybe somewhere down the road between stupid, worthless, pathetic, cheap, slutty, and even worse than butt-loving. I don't buy none of it.
Hey,
Not
Beast,
1 inch.
why don't we get all the Knicks fans in a good mood? Give us your Jalen Brunson crossover
You know what?
against Tyrese Halliburton tonight.
Jack the music. Pump the music up. We are going to party.
Oh, yeah,
Now,
baby.
Go New York. Go New York. Go.
New York, go New York, go. Go New York, go New York, go.
Yeah. I need Karl Anthony Towns now in the post, backing down Miles Turner.
Let's go.
Here we go. Music right now.
Go New York, go New York, go. Go New York, go New York, go.
Yeah.
Say go New York, go New York, go. Go New York, go New York, go.
Well done. Knicks fans are ready. If you're on the fence about this series, now you're picking the Knicks. Incredible. More of your calls right now. Good to see that Beast attorney, Mr. Bonesy, is in the house. He writes, May 21st. What's next? By the way, I'm trying a new feature out. You guys can see if you're watching. The chat is now up on the screen. This is a beta test that StreamYard has. Let me know in the comments if you like seeing the comments pop up or you don't. I think some of you might like it if you watch it on your TV, so then you can see the comments in real time. Others might not. So I want feedback from the listeners as we're testing it out over the next couple shows here. More of your calls, shall we, ladies and gentlemen? On the line right now is someone who is actively rooting for the New York Knicks tonight.
Oh, Jake.
Mr. Clifton, how we feeling?
Doing all right. So the way I usually consume the show is I have it on my phone where I'm talking with you, and then on the smart TV, I have the comments up, so I can see the beta. I just noticed that the font is very small.
And it's tiny. Yeah, I don't know. And there's no way for me to make it any bigger either. This is all I have to work with right now.
Okay, interesting. It's a different font. It's interesting looking. It just feels like if it was like a smidge bigger, then it would be like perfect. Maybe that's something that if you got back to YouTube, they could do. I don't know. I was thinking about one of your earlier calls was talking about the Knicks and their rivalries. They were talking about Miami and the Pacers and stuff. And who do we think that is their biggest rival? Is it Indiana?
In their history?
Yeah.
I mean, if you could only pick one team, I feel like it has to be Indiana because think about it. There's just like the run with the Bulls is strictly just
one-sided.
Like it's too one-sided and it's only in that one period of time. Whereas you could argue maybe Miami, but I think Indiana's a bigger rival at this point. Like,
I was leaning Miami because of just like there was a lot of enmity there, physical altercations, the Riley thing.
Yeah,
there's a whole bunch of history with Miami.
I think it's Indiana though because it's so even though, right? I mean, they've met so many times in different series, 3 times now. Three times in the conference finals. This will be the 4th meeting. Like they met in 2013, the one outlier year where the Knicks were very good. They met last year as the Knicks were on this run, for the first time in a while, actually being considered a legit team, a 2 seed last year, and Indiana ended their season. I think it's Indiana right now.
Yeah, I mean Boston's in the conversation too.
But they until this year they had not met in the playoffs since the early 2010s. Then you got to go back to like
the 90s.
The early 90s, and then you had the Bernard King era Knicks, and then the 70s. I mean, The Knicks, Benigno talked about it yesterday. The Knicks, right, going into Boston and ending their season when they won 68 games that year is certainly a highlight.
Right. I was actually thinking along the same lines as you before, Knicks in 6. The one thing I'll say is, even though they might not have an answer for Towns, they can throw some bodies at him. That would be my one concern. It's just, I feel like this team is just vastly better than last year's rendition, and I'm hoping that we're going to see that play out on the court, because I think both teams are very focused and they have their eyes on the prize and they realize what's at stake here. These are veteran groups that are ready to win, so it should be a great series. You had something on the tip of your tongue there, Jake? I can tell.
Oh, you very good, Kyle. And I wasn't sure if you were done. I would just add this about Towns. I think he can't get in foul trouble. And that's played them so many times. And that's been a problem with Towns his whole career, so it's easier said than done. But Towns should have a big time series if he stays out of foul trouble. Like Brunson and Towns need to be self-aware, and Brunson I think will. This is more of a Towns thing. Don't get in foul trouble, because that is the one thing that could cause a major issue for the Knicks if Towns especially gets in trouble early. Right,
because their bench gets kind of literally short real quick, right? Their size is Towns and Mitchell Robinson, and then it drops off. That's really all I had. The Jets, I'm waiting for some news to trickle in from camp to see how these guys are doing.
12 o'clock, you'll start getting it. 12:15 practice starts.
Yeah, I probably won't be around for the second show. We've got a big birthday in the house today for Clifton Jr., so we'll probably
Happy birthday, Clifton Jr.
Yeah, so we'll be out on the town for the second show, but I'll probably catch up with you guys tomorrow. Have a great day, Jake.
Kyle, great call as always. I agree with that. Sabo, by the way, for those tuning in late, Robbie Sabo from JetX, 4 p.m. Eastern today. He joins us live. Well, probably not live from One Jets Drive, but he's at One Jets Drive covering the OT that's open for the media today. So our first look at Justin Fields in this offense. Nate writes, in the chat on the screen's great for full screen bike riding. How is Nate not a channel member? We got to rectify that. Zoink Nation says, Jake, how do you cognitively, that's a big word, cognitively approach the Knicks being in the Eastern Conference Finals? Do you think about the finals, or are you taking it one day at a time? I don't know how you handle success as a fan. Well, I can tell you this, Zoink. The good news is how we handle it has no impact on what will happen on the, in the actual games. My mentality is I'm not even thinking about the finals. I'm just win tonight. That's it. Win tonight. Now, am I aware that they have a legitimate chance to get to the finals? Absolutely. But you got to just focus on the now. And enjoy it. Enjoy the moment. You can't be worrying about you got to enjoy the moment. Because let's be real. We think the Knicks are going to be pretty good now going forward. Their team is young, under contract, but everything could change. Injuries happen, right? Like the Knicks literally were not here a year ago, I believe, because of how injured they were. Right? Boston would be a championship contender next year until, well, Jason Tatum's now all out for all of next year with one injury like that. So you got to enjoy it. You never know. It's so hard to win. It is so hard to win a championship. So hard to get to where the Knicks are, be one of the 4 teams left. So you got to enjoy it. Mr. Beasley's attorney writes in, Mr. Jason, my client is excited to have little Joey evicted from your household. My client has a family recipe for guinea pig. I don't know how to pronounce this word. Cervici? Cervet? Yeah, I don't know. I know this has come up on the show before, and I botched it last time, and I have not learned. Someone tell me the phonetic pronunciation of this. Tom Ace writes in, Beasley went to thousands of titty parties. John says, success as a fan is difficult. It's been a long time. And look, the fan police out there, Knicks fans can't celebrate. Like, stop it. You don't get it. Let fans be fans and enjoy it. It's not like the players are out there celebrating like they won the championship. You got to enjoy the moment. And the players understand. The coach understands. But fans get to be fans. That's why you pay all this money for tickets and merch and invest all your time in going to a bar to watch a game, or you stay in because they're out west and you're staying up late and you have to go to work the next day and you're exhausted because you get to enjoy it when the team finally does win. Cervici. All right, I think I was right with the first attempt. Jay says Rick Carlisle has a ring as a player and coach. He's an outstanding coach. Dominic says Beasley's attorney is cornball AF. If this is how he litigates, this case will be a cakewalk for Bonesy. Mr. Bonesy writes in that Mr. Beasley practices the tuck scene from Silence of the Lambs. Now that is a reference. Chris says the Jets can accomplish 4 wins. F the Jets, go Knicks, Knicks in 6. Aren't you a Jet fan, Chris? What else we have here? Skills Baby with an Asmaniac super chat, gifting 1 channel membership. LFG Nixon 3, baby. I like the chat showing. Hell yeah.
Go New York, go New York, go! Go New York, go New York, go!
Let's see. Mark says, Jake, listening to you lately has been filled with negativity. You're becoming a one-trick pony and how the team sucks. Coaching will suck, and immediately they need to clean house. What are you talking about, Mark? I've never said that the coaching sucks. So we don't know about the coaching. I've never said they suck. I said they're unproven. So we got to see. I said coaching's the biggest variable. I don't want to clean house. I said if they win 3 games or less, I'd clean house. Because I don't think they're going to be that bad. I think there's too much talent for them to be that bad. You want me to be positive, Mark? I don't know what's there to be positive about. I'm a realist. We'll call it how it is. So I look, that's you want to hear what you want to hear, that's fine. But I am not saying anyone should be fired right now. Chris says, where are we watching the game tonight? Well, the Knicks are doing a watch party at Radio City Music Hall. It costs $10. The proceeds, they say, go to the Garden of Dreams Foundation. And the Knicks previously have been doing these watch parties right outside the Garden at Penn Plaza, which has been redone over the last couple of years and is super nice. You're just going to have too many people. So the Knicks are like, we got to get a venue. And obviously Dolan owns Radio City, so it's easy to do it there. I went to the watch party the Knicks did at the actual Garden for Game 1 against the Celtics last series. And that was awesome. I actually sat in a Garden seat with the game on the big screen. They played the sounds in-house, had some Knicks alumni there. It was cool. So I'm sure they'll do the same thing at Radio City later. And I think part of the reason they're doing it at Radio City, because they know after the game, it's going to be insane with the fans if the Knicks win. Each win's going to be like a celebration on the streets. And they took the ladders away from some of the billboards. Tom Ace wrote, and I saw that earlier. Constraints aren't the Knicks home. They are home, but have you seen what the ticket costs are to go to these games? It's insane. So I'm a partial Knicks season ticket holder, so I get face value for seats for each round. And the tickets are just enormous. They're enormous. They're ridiculous. And if they go to the NBA Finals, you imagine that ticket on the secondary market. Dylan with a super chat. Prediction for Knicks score tonight. Basketball scores are tough. I think the Knicks are going to win, Dylan, but I couldn't tell you what the score is going to be. I'll throw out a number for you. 101-96. Knicks. I don't know. Tommy says the cheapest ticket is for $573 tonight for the Chase Bridge on Ticketmaster. Is that without fees included? So it's probably going to cost you closer to $7 after all the fees and BS they tack on. I will say this about the Chase Bridge. I've sat up there a ton because that's where they put the media. When I've gotten Knicks games as press, it is a great place to watch a game because you got the monitor in front of you. So you can watch a different game at the same time. You can put the broadcast on. And you have like your own seats. You don't feel like you're on top of people. If you have food, you can put your food on the desk that they have. I'd rather pay money to be in the Chase Bridge and be up high than a little lower in like the upper deck. I think it's a better experience. All right, how about some breaking football news, shall we? The proposed ban on the tush push did not receive enough votes from NFL owners. The play is staying in the game. So the tush push ban has not happened, which is good. Don't penalize a team for being better at something than every other team. And I'm no Eagles fan, but I thought it was asinine that they were going to ban this play. And the Lions pulled their proposal of reseeding the wild card teams based on record instead of just, oh, you're a division winner, you get a home playoff game. So both those new rules are done. See you later. But breaking news, the tush push is here to stay. As it should be. Don't penalize the Eagles for being better at something. Also, here's the thing, too, with the tush push, right? From a Jet standpoint, they should be able to run the tush push. We have Justin Fields. He should be excellent at that. Thunderlips wants to know, how much did the watch party at the Garden cost? It was $10, and the concessions were open. Yeah, it was really well done. It was a good job by the Knicks. They did it for Game 5, too, but that didn't go as well. Bang Mateo with a super check. Can the Knicks handle success and get a win or blow it? I mean, I think they can handle success. I think the fans are excited, but there's a difference between the fans and the players. And really the coach. And it all starts with Tibbs. And Brunson didn't even want to celebrate after they beat Boston. Like, it starts with him. He's the captain. He sets the tone. Dylan says, Fields is the third most tush-push quarterback, according to Samini. Glad they didn't pass it. Yeah, it's a good thing for the Jets. I just brought it up before, Dylan, 100%. Bonesy writes in that Mr. Beasley eats gas station pizza with a fork and knife. Strong allegation. Dominic writes in, kind of weak teams tried getting rid of the tush push. I don't like the play overall. Eagles are the only ones who can consistently pull it off because of Hurts' size and leg strength, playing to what their team is capable of. Don't penalize a team for being better at something than every other team is. I just think that's so weak. So weak. You don't like it? Figure out a way to stop it. I like this pettiness from Matthew. When the Eagles face the Packers next season, they should call the tush push on every play. They were the buttholes who wanted it gone. Neymar says, can the Knicks win tonight? Hell yeah.
Hey, go New York, go New York, go! Go New York, go New York, go!
Can they win tonight? Absolutely. They're the favorites to win tonight. And once again, it's a crazy stat, but it's true. In the Knicks' history, which dates back to 1946, they have never won a playoff series where they've lost the first game of that playoff series at home. Remember, 2 years ago, they lost to Miami, game 1 at home. They lost to Atlanta several years ago. They lost game 1 at home that year. They lost to Indiana in 2013. They lost that game 1 at home. Dan writes in, Jake, when are we getting the peanut butter rub stream? When the Jets win 12 games, Dan. Rules are rules. Mr. Beasley's attorney writes in, Bonesy Bros attorneys at law firm is going to suffer a crushing defeat. Mr. Bonesy writes in, Mr. Beasley bleeds for 7 days each month, and I'm not talking about his fruitcake local wrestling gig. Beast, what does it mean to you to have Mr. Bonesy in your corner as your attorney at law?
That, my friends, is a real hardworking man. Whoever this child predator is, this little child has no clue who he is.
Child predator, Beast. That's a strong accusation.
I did watch a lot of that stuff on the Instagram about there's a thing in Denver that you might have to look it up about guys getting about child predators. Ooh, I watch that all the time, and I hear one guy going, "Excuse me, everybody! Excuse me, everybody! This man here can't have made a 13-year-old for sex."
What are you talking about, Beast?
Stay on topic. I see that every day. I watch that on Instagram all the time because you don't think these guys are doing their job? Oh, they're doing their job. It's called they know what's up. See, this is why I will not bend over to these child
bend over.
Like yeah, I'm bending over.
Nobody's bending over around here. This is a football.
See,
show.
I'm like Tom Holman. I'm gonna play you hard, and I'm gonna play you very tough. So, in the words of certain people, I don't care what people think of me. You know what? Cut the bullshit.
Hey, Bonesy, you got to keep your client's mouth closed. He might be hurting the case here against Beasley.
I'm done talking about a crybaby who can't get his tampon straight. Sorry to tell you. Yeah, that's correct. Have a good day, Jake. Let's enjoy the day, shall we? Let's go out and enjoy.
I'm going to get to more calls. All right, Beast?
Thank you.
All right. More of your calls right now. Comments, questions, super chats. They'll cut the line. For the first time today, let's check in with the Beast. Beast, what do you got for us?
Well, does anybody remember watching Unsolved Mysteries with Robert Stack? You remember that name?
Of course.
Hey, Robert Stack was one of my favorite guys. He told some good stories on that. I remember watching that when I was a kid. Even America's Most Wanted on Fox. But nowadays, TV don't excite me for several reasons. One, too much propaganda. Two, too much advising nonsense on TV.
Advising.
And three, too much political crap. It's too political nowadays. This is why I don't buy it. You don't see me buying a new flat screen. You don't see me buying all the other junky wonky crap. No, I'm not gonna buy it. I'm old school. Did I want a big screen TV when I was a kid? Of course. Did my mother could she afford it? No. We were available to get 19 inches and 20 inches. That was the availability back then. Now that I got the money, I got a nice 35-inch, and I got everything I need. So you know what? All this crying
Mikey's not just saying you make no sense. What are your thoughts?
Mike, you know what you are, my friend? This right here. Dust. Wind. Do you remember seeing that from Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure? I hope you do.
Oh yeah.
Watch the movie. You'll get a kick out of it. I'll give credit to Keanu Reeves and Alex Winter for that movie and the great George Carlin.
Mr. Beasley's attorney writes in, Mr. Jason is lying. He's claiming to be everything my client has achieved.
In the words of Steve Austin, boring. Nobody cares about that crybaby. As a matter of fact, he should be going to the store right now, picking up his mailman tampons. Yeah, that's more suitable for an idiot with the low IQ, dumber than toilet paper.
I would love for Mr. Beasley's attorney to respond to this video.
Like PBM once said, he ain't nothing but a fake wannabe wrestler, can't hang. And Mr. Castro, I ain't no sausage stuffer, little dude. You need to go back to the drawing board and rethink your strategy because your
I
strategy.
do love
is,
sausage though,
very weak.
Beast. Now I like bacon as well, but I am a big fan of sausage.
Well, sausage patties are my favorite. I like sausage patties. I don't like maple. For some reason, I don't like maple. It don't taste right. It's way off. I'm an original guy. I like original stuff. Something with not too much flavor, but just the way I like it. Fresh. I don't put ketchup on a burger because that's not my style. I like good bratwurst. I don't mind certain other sausage, but I'm not gonna talk the other sausage because that's very inappropriate, and I ain't having it. And no, I'm not the Michelin Man. Michelin Man has been gone for a long time, about maybe 25, 30 years, maybe. Fake wannabe. No, Mr. JD Surf, I've done my job. I've done my time. Until then, you can go fly a kite or take a head first into the bus. Jerk off. Bye-bye. Yeah, well, hey, everything counts. Fair is fair. But I got better things to go do right now. I have other things more important, better to go do. Like
What's on the agenda today, Beast?
Run that by me again.
What's on the agenda today?
Well, let's see. I'm gonna be watching Dynamite tonight, enjoying good time, and then tomorrow I'm leaving here at 8:00 in the morning because I'm going right up to the thrift store and I'm stopping at Fairpoint because I'm picking up one of my favorite things called, you know what it is? It's poultry chicken. A man's chicken is what I prefer. I love chicken. Chicken is my thing.
You love man chicken?
I'm going with something crispy on the chicken. Go crispy. Extra crispy, but here's the thing. No ketchup, no hot sauce, just nice and crunchy.
Are you
Peter
eating
Castro,
little Joey?
Mr. Castro, I got something for you. Nothing up my sleeve. It's a bird! Right there, the bird. That's a special. That's a 50 special right there. If you remember watching Lightning Jack Kane. Now, I'm going to do a little thing called... Yeah, the guy with the straw hat. Yeah, you can go to Mexico and get these too. Back in the day, it used to be $3. Not anymore. Not anymore. You know why not anymore? Because nowadays, you see something like this, $20. $20 for these hats. $20. Just like everything else. Our seats, our benches, our pools. Pools are like 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, $100. Maybe 200 if you're going to spend wisely. But I'm a spending man, and I like to do what I do best. Thank you. No, Mr. Reigns. Indiana Jones doesn't wear something like this. He wears a nicer hat because back in the Indiana Jones in the Last Crusade, you'll see him wearing a nicer hat, especially not like this.
Hey, Beast, breaking news. Peter Castro might hire the same attorney that Beasley has.
Who cares? Who cares? That's for little babies who want to be crybabies. And no, Mike D's nuts. I don't choke chicken, my friend. I may cook chicken in a frying pan. I may cook it in buttermilk. I may cook it in lard, but I sure the hell don't choke chicken, little boy. Go back to the front line and earn your meal ticket. Joik off, if you can find it.
Everybody, how are you all doing tonight? Right now, I'm in a great mood because I finally crushed that son of a bitch, Bobby Beasley. Now, he is non-existent. He's a low-life, cocksucking, smuggling piece of human garbage. He's been destroyed, and now, after being exposed all over the Jake Asman show, now the time has come for me to be at peace. And, after all, after what he's done for 3 years, he's finally been exposed. I warned you, Bobby Beasley, that this day will be your last. And it was your last. Goodbye, Bobby Beasley. I'll see you in the pits of hell. And when you get there, make sure you burn in hell.
Some salient points raised there, as always. Some Jets news. So we just told you moments ago that the push has officially been legalized for at least another year. It will not be outlawed. It did not receive enough votes from NFL owners. Adam Schefter is reporting that among the teams that voted to keep the tush push, the New York Jets, which makes sense because we're going to be a team that could rely on the tush push. Justin Fields can run this play. Dylan gave you the stat earlier that the Jets were third, or not the Jets, Fields is third in tush push success. 11 first downs on 12 push sneaks. So, I like it. Any way to get a slight edge, because that could be the difference in the game. And the Jets were so bad on short yardage last year, so that there'll be a huge upgrade, you would think, in that area. Yeah, it's hard to be worse. Nimar says, Knicks inside. Knicks in 5. Hell yeah. I'm in. Knicks in 5. Believe it, and it will happen. That's how we got to look at it. Believe. Knicks in 5. Bonesy says, real talk, Knicks. I'm so damn hyped. Mr. Bonesy's ready to go. He can't wait. Same with all of us. Comments, questions, super chats. We'll cut the line. Load up your calls on the Gusbuster Umbrella Hotline. We'll do a final finish for our show on the other side. Quick break. Back to your calls to wrap it up. Plus, more opportunities to get in our raffle if you gift a membership. Clyde Frazier jersey and a Joe Namath jersey are our top 2 prizes in this week's raffle. Quick break. Back with more. Jake Asman with you live on YouTube here on a Wednesday. Is there any truth to the rumor you're having Knoble on your show?
Maybe.
Who the fuck do you think you are, Charles? I'm the Canobly, and I'm playing for the Jets next year. You better get used to it, motherfucker, because I'm coming to get you.
Did you see the interview we did with Knoble yesterday when he called in?
No, I did not.
I'm just kidding, Charles. I love you, man. You're the greatest. I just want to be your friend, okay? So, please do my friend. Motherfucker!
All right. Charles, thank you for the time today. Last night on a radio station in this town known as The Fan, WFAN, Keith McPherson took a call from Bobby Midnight, who wanted to ask some questions about Knoble.
All right, let's go back to Bob in Vermont.
I wanted to ask you, what do you think the Jets and Giants will do on the draft, your choices? And also, do you ever hear of a player from college called Knoble?
Knobu? From what school?
College.
Yeah, but what college?
It's just college. Do you ever hear that guy's name?
No, I've never heard of Knobu from college. Knobo from college? What position does he play?
He plays offense and defense.
He plays offense and defense? He's a two-way guy?
Yep, that's what he said.
How do you spell the last name?
Knoble. I can't remember how you spell it. It starts with K, I know that.
Okay, because I'm spelling it wrong on Google.
No, Knoble.
Thanks for the call, Bob. I do not know who Knobo is. Maybe somebody listening knows of a player, a two-way player coming out of college that gives you like 300 options. I'm looking at Zoo. He's just laughing. I'm trying to find out. A two-way player plays offense and defense. Knobo is coming.
You ever hear of Knoble?
There were 2 listeners of mine who called WFAN asking 2 separate hosts if the Jets should take Knoble, and each host was like, just they were stumped. They're like, I haven't done enough draft prep. I'm unaware, and they're reciting lines from the show.
John and Seaford, what's up, bud? A lot of these Jet fans out there want Brock Bowers.
Yes, that is the sexy name surrounding the Jets.
I think the three options you go, O-line, receiver, or if Knoble out of college is there, you got to take Knoble. 5'7", 198, plays both sides of the ball. Not sure if you know him. Mel Kiper had him top 15 pick. What are your thoughts on Knoble?
I don't know him that well. I'll be totally honest with you. Bro, I got to do more draft prep. You said he plays both sides of the ball. Makes me think, who plays both sides of the ball in the NFL?
We now have Knoble's testing numbers. There's a reason why Knoble has skyrocketed off the draft boards here. He has tremendous testing numbers. It's tremendous. The only knock on Knoble is he's 5'7", 198. But he's a two-way player. He can play both sides of the ball. And if you were listening to WFAN last night, it was Rob from Glenhead, not Johnny Quest impersonating Rob from Glenhead, called in to ask FAN host Keith McPherson if the Jets should consider this Knoble guy.
Let's go to Rob in Glenhead first up on the fan.
Well, yeah, I'm out right now. My friend Neil Chipotle just chilling out, talking Jets, smoking cigars. I was listening yesterday to your show. The guy Bobby from Vermont called up about this guy Knoble. Yeah, I think I found out who he was talking about.
Okay, what college? What school?
I didn't get that, but there was an NFL Network did a spotlight on him. Neil, look up the college this kid went to. So it's pronounced Knoble when he was in an island, but then they changed to Knoble when he came over. They were talking about. I think his brother was a 7th round pick in like 2022. Dude, the kid. Listen, I don't know if he's going to go in the first round, but he plays receiver and nickel corner. His stats are crazy.
Do you know how to spell his last name? I have not heard of this kid.
Knoble. Neil, look it up.
I can't spell shit.
40-yard dash, 4.3. Cone drill, 6.41. I don't even know if that's good. You know, you're an athlete. Is that good?
I guess 6.41. It could be faster.
Vertical, 47.
No, that's ridiculous.
The fact is this: if you're getting a receiver and a nickel, if he plays receiver, we need a receiver, right? Because Lazard's terrible. And if he's nickel corner, we have Michael Carter, who I think is going to be a free agent next year. You can't afford him, so you replace him.
I don't know, but that's what confused me yesterday. We're talking about a two-way player getting drafted and expected to play both ways?
Yeah, dude, I never heard of it, so I saw it on the NFL Network, and then when Bobby was talking about it, I'm like, that sounds familiar. I looked it up. The crazy thing, he's from like some small island near Hawaii. They have like 350 kids. It was like 13 kids on his high school team. That's why he went both ways. I know most times in New York and New Jersey, everyone goes both ways.
In high school, yeah, but in college, that's why I'm like, I haven't been watching NFL Network.
If they can get this kid in the first, I don't think he's going to fall to 10, and maybe the Giants, maybe the Cowboys get him. Where the Cowboys pick him?
24, they're cooked.
He'll probably be gone by then.
Do you know the spelling of his name?
Oh, Neil, you got that name?
Yeah, here
all
it
right.
is.
Yep.
K-A-N-O.
Yep.
B-L-E. I'm going to hang up and listen, Keith. Be good, all right?
Yeah, thanks for the call. So we were talking last.
Stop. What's up, Jake?
You're embarrassing yourself.
Oh, shit.
Stop.
Let me ask you something, ass man. What do you think of Zach Wilson?
He stinks.
Thank God he's gone. He never scores no fucking touchdown.
He stinks.
The second pick for number 2 destroyed the Jets' cause.
He stinks.
Asmaniacs kick so much ass, but some of them, they kill the vibe and make the show a freaking mess. So Jake reminds them.
He stinks.
When Allen calls, he speaks the hate. That cartoon douche, he trashed the Jets. Let Bobby know, cause he's the man who will find him.
He stinks.
Another call comes from the car. Distorted voice and no Wi-Fi. That's JJ with crap ass phone. Just cut off all the calls.
He stinks.
Is that gas station pizza? Come on, Gary.
He stinks.
Chicken don't go with pasta. Just get out of here, Jake.
The guy is terrible. Enough.
And we're back. Reminder, this show, it's available as a podcast, Apple or Spotify. Just search The Jake Asman Show, and boom, you can listen to anything you might have missed. No one is currently on hold, so if you want to make your debut, you could call in and have 0 wait time. Everything's on the table, Jet-related, tush-push related, Jets being in favor of keeping it, and it will be kept, so it's a good thing. And the New York Knicks, who tonight will play in their first conference finals game in a quarter century. Are you kidding me? But it's happening tonight. And I can't wait to be there. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll end the show with a segment we like to do around here called Ask Jake Anything.
It's time for Ask Jake Anything. Ask about New York sports. Can't afford a therapist? Maybe Jake can help. We can even discuss if the moon landing was real. Seriously, ask Jake anything.
Throw it out there. Could be wild. Could be a normal question. and I'll do my best to address it. Jay writes, and does Beast ever leave backstage on StreamYard? Only when he thinks he's being sent to the hole. Or when Bobby Beasley shows up. He left pretty quickly yesterday. But then he came back. John LG writes in, how weird is it that a player from Colorado, a two-way player, came out this year? It's amazing how far ahead of the game Lane Tran was with Knoble. Two-way player, never been done before, and then Travis Hunter this year is the top player in the draft, and he's a two-way player. You can't make it up. Beastbreaker has responded to Jay Lepselter saying, Jay, you should be at Walgreens buying tampons. Strong. Real strong. Bonesy says, I miss Bobby. I miss that version of Bobby. Peter Castro says, first game a must. It's a huge game for the Knicks tonight, there's no doubt. Zoink wants a dilly dilly. Dilly dilly. I have a dilly dilly shirt somewhere in my apartment from years ago. Bonesy says, are you going to the game tonight? I will be there, Bones. I will be there tonight. And no one could call me a jinx because I was at game 4 and game 6 and they won both. People call me a jinx because I went to game 3 and they lost. Let's see. Nathan writes in, hey, Jake, Grand Junction Jet, if you were a betting man in Vegas, who do you think we faced week 1? Mason Rudolph or Rodgers? I think it's going to be Aaron Rodgers. Radical Bongos writes in, could Donovan Edwards or Smith be a potential contender for a punt returner? I think both of them. Boomtown, who do you have winning the Stanley Cup? Ooh, good question. I saw Florida made easy work of the Hurricanes last night. I don't know, Boone, to be honest with you. I feel like it's total toss-up. I'll say Dallas finally gets it done. They've been knocking on the door for years, right? 4th conference finals appearance in the last 5 years. I'll say this is the year the Stars finally get it done. Josh's sports report says, do the Cowboys concern you at all? Outside of their receivers, I don't know about them. I mean, I think they're a decent team, but I don't think they're a great team. I think the Jets could win that game. They'll be an underdog, but I think they can win that game. Remember the last time I played Dallas at MetLife? Sam Darnold, fresh off mono to Robbie Anderson. Jamal Adams with a huge stop on 4th and goal with Dallas driving at the end. And then I try to flush the last time they actually played Dallas, when they played them in Dallas, week 2, the week after Rodgers got hurt, because I went to that game. That stadium is sick, but that was the only good part of the day, because that game sucked. They got killed. Dan says, do you think the Knicks found something in game 6? Do you think they could play like that consistently? I don't think they could play that well, Dan, because that, like, they you couldn't have played better if you were the Knicks. Do I think the Knicks proved that they still had that level they could get to? Yeah, because while everyone was talking about how, oh, well, you know, Boston hasn't played their best yet, my counter to that the whole series the last 2 weeks was, well, neither have the Knicks. And that's why I think it was so important for the Knicks, not just to win, but the way they won. I think that builds confidence. Like, when the Knicks click, that's how dominant they can be. They have so much talent. Especially when they play that well defensively. They came out with the right mentality in that game 6 Friday. I never thought it'd be that big of a blowout, but you saw it coming based on how the game was playing out before your eyes. Like, there was never a moment Boston was going to get back in that game. Watching it back. Now, as a fan, I'm just sitting there like, this is too good to be true. When's the other shoe going to drop? And then you watch it back. It's like the Knicks were never in doubt. They were the best team. They were dominant. Jay Quest says, Sauce dropped that pick 6 in that Dallas game. Yeah, he did. Would have changed the entire tenor of the game. That and the Jets, They got back in the game, if you remember, after Garrett Wilson had that long touchdown off the play action. And then the third quarter started, and the Jets just could not get off the field on defense. How is JQuest not a channel member? Offer stands. If you gift JQuest a channel membership, I send you an item from the merch store. Excited to see that we will use the tush push. It's very hard to stop that play. I'm excited too. Peter says, Jake, the Knicks graduated after the Celtics series. I think the Pistons series, Peter, helped get the Knicks ready for Boston. And I think overcoming Boston will have the Knicks better prepared for Indiana. Boomtown writes in, Jake, are you appointing yourself judge, jury, and executioner on Monday in the trial of the century? Well, guys, I got some news about this trial, man. Beastbreaker claims he's not going to show up. He wrote in, I made my decision. I will not participate in the Beasley trial Monday because it's nothing but a fishing expedition. Now, I'm not quite sure what a fishing expedition is, but those are official comments made on the record. Rich writes in, loser. I got to say, Rich is probably one of the nicest people that regularly tunes into the show. He's a invaluable member of our Asmaniac Madness committee. But if there's one thing I know about Rich, he does not like Beastbreaker. Party with Peg and Artie. Trial got to be the late show. I think we're only doing one show Monday because it's Memorial Day. How's the weather going to be, by the way? The Knicks are playing Sunday in Indiana. So there's no playoff game. I don't think the Yankees are home. I think they're on the road. Yep, they're in LA against the Angels. Are the Mets home that day? Jay Quest wants to know what Beast is afraid of. Some have said that Bobby Beasley is Beast kryptonite. Jimbo says, Jake, was Allen born miserable or someone/something made him this way? You know, I've only known Allen as a heel commenter on this show. I don't know much about his life and his upbringing. Peter Castro says, Beast got caught. Man, Peter Castro versus Beast is a rivalry that many will be talking about for decades to come. I never forget that time they went head-to-head on this show.
Yeah, put him back on.
People
Shut
need to
up
be
for
learning
5 minutes.
life.
Shut your big mouth for 5
how about
minutes.
you blow out your left nostril? How about you do this? Go turn your ass around and go walk the left line. How you like that, man?
Mouth for a fat, ugly prick.
Yeah, you
pick on Bobby? What are you picking on him for? Shut up.
You gotta learn his
You don't
lesson.
know shit. When I talk, you shut up.
I got a bigger
you know
dick
what's good
than
for
you,
you.
little-
You don't come on here screaming and yelling at him, you overweight piece of shit, you big mouth.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
The only thing
Keep
you
talking,
can go stick is a
Keep
donut up
talking,
your
asshole.
ass.
You won't be here too long. Keep talking.
right.
What did Bobby do to you, asshole?
I put
I
bitches
know
like
you're
you
a
in
champion
check.
of all sports we never heard of. You got 30 years of coaching. You did this, you did that. You know what you did? You did shit.
Because I've learned
That's
more
what
than
you
your
did.
fat ass
You
can
did
do,
shit.
best
You
day.
don't know nothing about the Jets.
I'm like the Tony
you know nothing
Soprano,
about
Paul
sports.
Wallace,
You know what you
and
are?
Dr.
You're an
Combine.
asshole. That's all you are.
This guy, I think his mother dropped him on his head when he was a kid. I tell you that much.
The way he talks, he shouldn't even be on the air.
This has been some show, man.
Two very proud men just simply talking things out.
What's up, clown? Hey, monkey nuts. Let me shut your fakey, flaky ass up before you call me a clown. You're dealing with the wrong dog in the yard because the next thing you're going to get is the army tank, and I'm going to send one-way ticket coming your way. And just remember this. I might be big, but I'm going to be bad enough to put you out.
You're nothing but a big blowhard, and you're not going to do nothing. You come face to face with me, I'll shred you so fast that you'll go running back to your boyfriend, funnel butt.
Run back to your boyfriend, funnel butt, is the line of the day. Team Ricky. That was a great line. What a moment in time, folks. Will Beasley versus Beast live up to the hype when they meet? It's been a couple of brief battles. But I'm expecting fireworks the next time we see them together on the screen. On that note, thank you all who watched. We're back with live breakdown from practice. Robbie, Sabo, we love the breakdowns from practice. It's one of my favorite off-season shows to do. We just get that little taste of football. We'll have Justin Fields stats to digest. Yes, the reporters are going to keep track of that. Jets are about to start their practice. We're back at 4 Eastern, live with Sabo, who's there covering it for JetX. He'll join us and answer all the questions we have about what the first look at the full 2025 Jets actually looks like. On that note, again, thank you all who watch. We are back this afternoon. Until then, enjoy your day. Let's go Knicks. And I will talk to all of you guys soon. Let's go.
Right now, what I need to have happen, Charles, I need you to put on the Gorman tank. It's Friday. The vibes are high. Put on the Charles Gorman-inspired Jake Asman Show tank top for the people.
I will maybe next week.
What? Put it on. Put it on. Oh, my God, he's doing it.
Football is back, bitches.
Give us one more spin around, all right?
Give us the full modeling.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for the ass. Yeah, we appreciate it.
Charles, would you like to respond to Gator? He says you look like you combed your hair with a pack of firecrackers. How come you didn't congratulate him?
I did on the baby. Yeah, he had a.
You didn't say this, though.
Hey, congrats on the sex.
Congrats on the sex. Oh, my God.
Yeah, how do you think babies are made?
No, it's funny. True story. When I was a kid, I actually thought I came from a stork. I shit you not, man. Like, when you have all these dreams and shit, it's like, here you go, here's your baby. That's what I thought happened to me when I was a kid.
So to be clear, you were not acquired via stork, right?
Yes, I was biologically made by my mother and father.
Dennis Gorman?
And my mother, Roseanne.
Shout out to them. They did a great job with you, Charles.
Was it sweet and passionate, or are you unaware of those details?
Why do I need to know those details?
I don't know. Maybe it would have. I mean, you wanted to know whether it was stork or baby making, so I don't know. Just figured you'd want intricate levels of detail.
My parents made love twice. They gave birth to my brother, and they gave birth to me.
Okay. Thank you very much for clearing that up.
And this is my nanny, babysitter, assistant, helper lady.
Hello.
Hello.
She goes to Oklahoma.
Morgan, how long have you been a nanny to Decker?
3 years, since 2021.
Wow.
Yeah.
You and Gary's wife have done a great job because there's no way Decker turned out the way she did because of Gary. I'm just catching up on some of the comments here, and this is for everyone. You know who you are.
Calm your freaky down.
Just saying. Eric says, good thing Jake didn't put Bobby on. Could you imagine? Some of these comments, man. Jake, you don't want to read the comments. Oh, it's true. I can't even read these comments, man. You guys are terrible. Gary, what are your thoughts on everyone seemingly being a big fan of your nanny?
She's fantastic. She's the best.
She is. That she is.
Yeah.
Thank you for the time. Gary's nanny needs her own emoji. This chat is going wild today, folks. All right. Richard Todd is watching the show in delay, says, just saw Gary's nanny. Interesting. What's so interesting about it? Top Cat says we need Scott to normalize the chat again.